With YouTube demonetizing independent media, please consider becoming a patron today for just $1 per month. Link below. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo, and oh my god, okay, so there's a debate happening right now. There's a big debate right now about whether or not girls entering into the Boy Scouts is a good or a bad thing. There are people out there like myself that are totally fine with it. I spent many years in the Scouts, started when I was a wee lad, a little tiger cub. Went all the way to Boy Scout, never quite hit Eagle because I got teenager and I preferred video games over, scouting. But I still enjoyed my time, and I have friends who have kids who are in the Scouts, and they love it. They love what they do there. In fact, a friend of mine is currently in training to be a Scoutmaster down in Oregon. And I was asking him about this the other day. I'm like, "What's going on with this whole situation with the girls?" And he's like, "It's really no different." They have programs that include girls, and they have programs where scouts will go camping with the family. In fact, there's been a big movement within the Scouts to do a lot of camping with the family, and that means bringing the sisters and then including them in the action, including them in the program. And now they're just making it official. And so then I asked him about the whole, jamboree situation involving, like, is that going to bring both into it? And he was under the impression that no, it wasn't. That these are things are going to be separate. Apparently, that's not the case anymore. And this is really going to cause a stir with the conservatives out there. And I think parents in general, so I'm not just targeting conservatives, but I think with parents in general, when they look at this particular situation and they're like, oh, wow, condoms at Scout Jamboree. This is a new thing. The Boy Scouts are allowing condoms, or it's requiring condoms at a jamboree. Now, when I went to my jamboree, we hung around, we had, lit fires and had s'mores, and we were, looking up salamanders and trudging around through the woods and having a grand old time. None of us were trying to have sex because there were no girls there. And we were also, like 13, 14. So nowadays, I got no freaking idea. But it says here, in recent weeks, the Boy Scouts of America announced the organization would admit girls to take part in its programs, and now Charisma News reports that condoms will be made available at its 2019 World Scout Jamboree in West Virginia, and alcohol is permitted in some areas. Oh no, condoms and booze. Where is this going, folks? Where is it headed? I'll tell you exactly where it's headed. It's headed to a Scout baby-making factory. That's what's going on here. It's a Scout baby making thing. They are trying to make it so Scouts produce more Scouts because they lost 425,000 Scouts when the Church of Latter-day Saints pulled out. And they don't want there to be pulling out, I guess, but maybe a busted condom or two. Now, it says here that the guidelines require that host organizations, who in this case include former Boy Scouts of America, ensure that condoms are readily and easily accessible for all participants and IST staff at a number of locations on site. Head of contingent must be informed in advance and made aware of their responsibility in communicating this policy to the participants, unit leaders, contingent staff, and IST in an appropriate way. Stunningly, the World Jamboree Guideline 7.3 also has exceptions, allowances, and instructions for the consumption of alcohol in confined areas at the 12-day camping event. It appears that Jamboree guidelines were drafted after the 2015 World Jamboree in Japan in preparation for the 2019 event and were just recently released in an email. So, okay, so they're allowing for, this kind of feels like an Olympic Village situation going on there, but ultimately it's not. So they're allowing people to drink alcohol in certain locations. I mean, in other countries, the age of the alcohol limit, or the age for it, is, obviously younger than 21, right? You go to Canada, it's 19, Mexico, it's 18, some European countries or whatever. And this is a world jamboree, right? World Scout Jamboree, all over the world, people going to be coming in. So they might have areas where the adults can go and hang out and get crunk. And you know what? Here's the thing. It comes in handy, man. Like, I went to VidCon last year, was walking around, a whole bunch of little tweens looking for their favorite Logan Paul new merchandise to purchase. But I go over to this back corner and there's a bar. There's a bar set up for parents to sit there and drink while their children are off doing children-like things. And I get it. You're around that many kids. Maybe you want to knock back a couple of rounds with another parent who also hates the fact that they're at the World Scout Jamboree. I understand that. Now, the condoms, though, this is where I think a lot of things are going to get really, really, really going to get kind of attacked. Now, the theme for next summer's Jamboree is Unlock a New World and will celebrate cultural exchange, mutual understanding, peace, and friendship. And scouts have also been defending their decision to admit girls, saying here that the program for older boys and girls will largely be divided along gender lines, with single-sex units pursuing the same type of activities and earning the same array of merit badges and potentially having the same pathway to the coveted Eagle Scout Award. And so basically what you're looking at here is this World Scout Jamboree next year, right, is going to have girls in the program because they go into it. And so I'm pretty sure they're going to have condoms on hand because there's going to be a lot of intermingling. There's going to be people out there that are hopefully of age, for whatever the age of consent is in West Virginia, to engage in a little brown chicken, brown cow. So if they're of age and they're consenting, cool. Cool. I'm totally okay with that. But this particular article, I do feel, is trying to focus on like the condom side of it without maybe looking at like the pragmatic nature for it being there. Obviously this is Breitbart story that I'm pulling from, so we know what they're going to be, what kind of stuff they're going to be saying, or what they're going to be leading to, so to speak. And look, here's the thing. If people are of age and they're consenting, I'm fine with it. I don't care. Obviously, I don't want there to be like 12-year-old and 13-year-olds that are going to be bumping uglies. I don't want anything like that. They may want that because their bodies are going through the hormonal changes known as puberty, and the hormone monster is going to be rearing his ugly head as you're on a 12-day vacation with a bunch of girls that are probably going to be just as horny as you, but at the same time, you don't really want to see that happening. It could be pretty bad. And the last thing we want is any kind of sexual assault or anything like that happening as well. So I don't quite know how I feel about this kind of thing that's going to be required. But it does seem that this is being done as more of just like a precaution, a safety issue, and a thing like that. So obviously the joke I was making earlier about this being a scout baby making retreat is clearly not accurate. So I just want to reiterate that point. If you already smashed on that dislike button and been like, oh no, you can't say that, Matt. Well. So let's hope that this thing goes off without a hitch, because I do support the girls being in the Girl Scouts, or the girls being in the Boy Scouts. I do support that. I support that because I feel like it's good to have one group that's going to be working towards building skills, right? Like my sister was in Girl Scouts and she didn't learn anything. She learned some home ec stuff, but nothing that would really be the same skill set I learned when I was in Scouts. So that's one of the reasons why I support it. Now, the Church of Latter-day Saints, they pulled out, like I said, 425,000 people. But as I found out from my buddy, not all of the people that pulled out were all Mormon. And they're actually looking and forming new packs and new groups out there. So while the church may have pulled out, not everyone exactly has also followed suit. But it was a pretty big number, and, who knows if the girls are going to make up for it. I just hope that at this World Scout Jamboree event that everything is handled safely and no one gets hurt, and that this particular experiment sees success. But anyway, you could have an entirely different opinion. In fact, I kind of want you to, because that's how we have a discussion on the issue. Be sure to write it down in the comments below. If you haven't already, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and check back often for more content from me. If you want to support the channel, best way is Patreon. Honestly, Patreon. YouTube hates this news channel, so that's the way to go about it. But if you just want to do that and support more content by watching more content, you can do that also right now.